So welcome to 2020 question B-2. It's an intersecting planes question. The image on the right shows the Crystal Building in London. Okay, so a building in London, which is the world's most sustainable building. The geometry of the crystal-shaped design includes a series of planar glass surfaces, so intersecting planes. Figure B2, here's our figure B2, shows the plan and elevation of three intersecting planar surfaces. The horizontal and vertical coordinates for A, B, C and D are given in partial coordinates for E. So you can see there, partial coordinates for E. Draw the given elevation and plan of the intersecting planes ABC and ABD. So AB being the shared thing between them. So they're telling us just to forget about ADE for now. Right, so we're going to measure out, up, and down. I'll just draw my XY line here first. And I'm going to measure, starting right there, and measure what distances they have given us. So we'll start with our measurements from left to right, so like this way. So 180. Actually, might even come in a little bit further, keep a bit more centered on the page. So start there. So 180 for A, 155. B, C is 100. Actually, label these A, B, C. Just make life easier later, and then 205 for D. Measure our out, up and down. So we're going up. Project lines up and down there. And actually, we might as well just take our measurement for E while we're here, which is 120. So A, they're saying it's 75 up and 70 down. B, up 25 and down 30. C, up 10, down 10. It's handy. D, up 10, down 20. Up 10 and down 20. So I'll label all of those. So I've got A, B, C, D, E. Actually, we can locate an elevation, which is up 40. C. We won't draw that, but just to show the point for now. I've got our C, B, A, and D. So let's draw those planes A, B, C, D. A, B, which is the shared edge between the two of them. Shared line. C, D, okay, so that is the elevation and plan of our intersecting planes ABC, ABD. Perfect. Determine the dihedral angle between planes AB, C and ABD. So like I said, that shared line is important. So we want to find AB as a point view. Okay, so first of all we need to look perpendicular to it and see there's a true length line so that we can then look along that true length line. So I'm just going to project out here and for my plan, sliding set squares. So let's see here. X1, Y1 out here. Let's project out AB, D, and C. Right, so that is my X1, Y1. So we're projecting from plan, so creating an elevation. So let's take our heights from our elevation here. So start with A. I've given these measurements to us, but just so everything's uniform, let's follow A down. Try to extend that out a little bit further. That's A, B, on my XY. Alright, just an auxiliary elevation, so height's the same as elevation. I've got D and C. I know both of these are actually 10 just from my drawing, so I'm actually going to take the same measurement for both. As I said, because I know the heights there for C and D from X, Y are both 10. So index everything so that we're clear on what we're doing. C, D, and B. So that's AB, which is the true length line that we were looking for. And just finish off those planes. Okay, so let's see if this is going to fit on the page. Just about. Okay, so I now want to look out along that true length line. So set my line here. Here's my X2, Y2. I'll project everything around the roots to that. So have to go back further to that. AB, project it out. C, project it out. And D, here. So we're going back two views here. So from my auxiliary elevation, I'm creating a plan. So I need to go back to my plan here, X1, Y1, back to my plan. The best way of making sure that you do this right is we know that we should be finding AB as a point of view. So AB, the distance for AB should be the same from my XY. So if I go back here, I can see that that distance from my X1, Y1 to B is the same as the X1, Y1 to A. So I know that's the measurement that I'm going to need to use. So let's get that first of all, AB. Follow it down. That's AB there. AD. I'll go off my page slightly. Yeah, that's fine. We can make that out. camera so you can see that. Just it out. Extend it out so you can see it. Right, and finally AC, so from my x1, y1 to c. So D is there, C, and here we have A, comma, B. Okay, so there we're looking for the dihedral angle between those, so we can indicate that that's the dihedral angle between them. Right, so next, you can tick that off, determine it. Yeah. Part C, draw the elevation plan of a horizontal line on the plane ABC which shall pass through point B. So let's start with that. We want a horizontal line on the plane ABC, so here's my plane ABC. We're saying a horizontal line which will be horizontal in elevation passing through B. Okay, and you get in here just to highlight that line. And they want us to draw it not just in elevation, in plan also, so we can project that down. So on the edge AC, project that down. So there's AC. From B, that is going to be the plan of that line, and I'll use my color to indicate it again. Okay. Hence, so using what we've just done, determine the angle of inclination of plane ABC to the horizontal plane, and then they want us to determine the true shape of ABC. So they have told us to find this line for a reason. Okay? Now, if we know from our key principles of graphics, if we have a line, okay, on a plane, and we see that line, try and do it kind of similar to what's going on here, so something like that. Here's B. If I can see that line that's resting on the plane as a point view, I see that edge thing as, or sorry, that surface, or that landmark, as an edge. So if I can see it as an edge, then I'm going to be able to see where it intersects or the horizontal plane, or the angle of inclination to the horizontal plane. So we want to see this line as a point view. So we're going to look out along that line. So slide such as set up my plane. This will be my next one, Y1, and project out the point, and what's going to need to project out? A, B, and C. Or A and C, I've already projected B. Okay, so this is another auxiliary elevation, because I'm projecting from a plan. Some heights are going to be taken from elevation. So height of A, that on my compass, I already know from the question that it's 75, so it's kind of similar to what we were doing earlier. So follow A, then B, okay, and that's the same height there, it's a horizontal line. So B there, it's a point view, and C That's point 1. So we're after finding A, B, comma 1. Actually, show that there. 1 and C. So that's a point view of that line. And it should appear as a straight line between all of those points if I've done it accurately. Okay, now they've asked us to find the angle of inclination between ABC and the horizontal plane. So this is my x1, y1. So that is my horizontal plane. If I extend that down, let's use a color here. Okay, so that's the angle of inclination between them. I might measure this. Probably should measure the dihedral angle down here also. That I'm getting it at an angle of 55 degrees. So indicate that 55 degrees. Down here we'll measure our getting that at an angle of 172. So 172 degrees. Okay, so that is just part 1 there, completed. They also want us to determine the true shape of ABC. So now that we see it as an edge view, okay, if I look perpendicular to that edge view, I will see the true shape of that surface. So look out along here at my edge view, or at my plane. So let's go back a small bit here. We'll give it enough room. Yeah, this will fit on the page. Okay, so project out perpendicular. I'll draw my x2, y2, anywhere out here, doesn't matter. Heights then, going 2 views back, so because I'm projecting out from an elevation or auxiliary elevation, creating auxiliary plan, let's go back to our plan view. So from x1, y1 to A, with that distance from my xy, and to B, B, and to C. So there's C. Like that. Just need to extend out this section line. Stay on camera. Just slightly off. There we go. That's my A, B, C. So let's try that out. There's quite a bit in this question. Still have another part to go. But that's my true shape of ABC. Right. on to the final bit. The dihedral angle between planes ABD and ADE is 165 degrees. Complete the projections of the plane ADE. Okay, so this is like working in reverse of what we had done down here. They've given us the angle of 165 degrees and we need to work backwards. So let's address it as we would a dihedral angle question. So the shared line is AD. Okay, so AD is going to be counted in actually I can even draw it in elevation. I'll draw that plane ADE. Okay. The point of these questions now just to ignore, the plane ABC. We're finished with it, and it's not included in what we're being asked in this question. So AD, so there's AD. We need to see it as a point view in order to see this angle of 165 degrees. So similar to before we wanted to find the point view of AB, so we have to see a true length of it and then see the point view of it. So let's get the true length of AD. Let's see where do we get with that. So project out here. On my X, Y line. That's from the Y one. X1, Y1. I'm going to project out. Okay, we take our heights from the elevation. We're projecting from plan, creating an auxiliary elevation, so heights are common. So once again, I've got my height of A. I've done this 3 times in this lesson. And this question. That's A, D, and B. So D is up 10, I know, just from locating it earlier, but let's do it here. And B. Okay, so that is the plane D, B, and A. So we found in this view the true length of AD. Right, now we want to look along AD and see it as a point view. So along AD, from X and Y one out here. Let's get in. Okay, let's go back 2 views again. So my X2, Y2. Let's go back 2 views. Right, remember we want to find AD as a point view. So once again, I should be getting the same distance there for A as I do for D. Okay, that's the best way of checking your work. You know you're looking for a point view. So AD and AB are the same. So that's the point view of it. And B there. So point view of A, D, and B is there. Okay, so we know that an angle of 65 degrees, 165 degrees is the angle of our dihedral angle, excuse me. So I'm going to measure an angle here of 165 degrees because we should be seeing the dihedral angle, we just don't have point E. So 165 degrees. Like that. Okay, now let's put that measurement in. 165 degrees. Okay. So, need to do a bit of thinking here to figure this out. At 165 degrees, we need to locate the position of E on this plane. Okay. Right, the plane isn't infinite, so it's going to be somewhere out along here. Our point E is going to be. So let's have a think about the information that they have given us, okay, about E. They told us that E is at a height of 40. So that's at a height of 40. I've got an auxiliary elevation drawn here, so E would be at a height of 40 here, corresponding to that. So let's draw that bit of information first and see where does it get us. So I'm going to draw a line here at a height there, a level line, okay? And corresponding level line here is going to be a height of 40. Let me just a little bit there, so it's sliding here. Just a little bit more clear for you on that. I'm actually using sliding set squares here. At a height of 40. Okay, so that's a level line, that's a corresponding level line there. Okay, so where that point is on AD, I can find that corresponding point for AD down here. So if I find a level line, if I find that line here, it will contain E. So if I create a plane that's larger than that, so let's imagine this is our plane, and we'll project it back where it hits the XY line. For X2, Y2. Okay, so that finds a point there. Alright, that's not the actual position of E, but it's a plane at that level. So let's bring that back down then. Using sliding set squares again here, just it's quicker to use my t-square in this case. Okay, so it's hitting the XY there. I show the projections of that plane then, so it's there. Right, so that's a plane containing an ADE. Let's draw that. It's a plane containing it. Okay, so this plane here is just a larger extension of the plane that we've been given. And if I draw my level line, so from this point, I found that point, if I draw this line, put it in colour just to show you. that's the corresponding line here. That will contain point E. So that's actually it right there. Yep, so draw in my E. Okay, so yeah, kind of a tricky one there. So my level line there, level line, and I project it from where it intersects my line projections. So where it intersected the XY line, I was able to bring that down. We've got the projections in elevation and plan, and do I need to show it in my auxiliary? So I can project out here to show E in my other view. So that's the position of E at that height of 40. E there, it's E there. And I can project out this way then to find E again. Just because they're asking for the projections of it. I'm not sure is that in the reference scheme is required in the other positions, but we'll show it here now. So E there. Okay, so quite a little bit in that question in 2020.